When, and this is from personal experience, when you're cheating and you don't even care about getting caught.
Oh my God.
Like you're not even being careful anymore. It's just kind of like if he
cheating
figures out
to
yeah,
make sure you know.
Exactly. Hi guys, Murugi Munyi here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's definitely TMI. Why are you whispering? Because you're wearing a feminine dress.
You already know.
Hello.
Hi,
How
everybody.
Are you? It's definitely TMI.
It's definitely TMI.
I don't know who I was telling, like, recently. Now, this is my normal voice. I don't know who I was telling recently.
I don't know. It's like, okay.
Like, oh, wow, yeah. I gravitate towards sweet feminine scents because I feel like they balance out the roughness masculine energy.
We feel none of that.
Who's we? Yours is different.
As a community.
Yours is different. Actually, it's not the same as like with other people. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
I'm holding a very different position on the mask versus femme thing, right? It's actually oh my God, what's her? I don't know I can't remember what her art is, but it's Christine, and she had written a love letter to her masculine energy and written down all of the things that she feels she's been able to do and achieve because of being masculine leading,
right.
And it made me see like a very different perspective, and also despite the fact that I think we are always like talking about how we are so masculine leading.
Right.
Joe, I've seen you firsthand, and there are so many ways you operate in the feminine, in ways that you don't see,
perhaps.
right?
Like
but
what?
there's I told you now, like whatever you told me with Zach, like
right.
then it's like she made a decision on like when they should talk about like a certain something.
Yes.
That is a feminine intuition because masculine is forceful in that stage. You just be like, no, I want to talk about this,
Exactly.
But you chose like the right moment, then you created an environment that he was able to be vulnerable. You are very much in your feminine, babe.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you as well.
You are. You just lead. It's like in the appropriate place, which is like we're at work, we want to get things done. What am I tapping into?
Exactly.
You tap into that. But no,
so right.
I've seen so many ways. And I think masculine leading women tend to kind of over exaggerate the masculine and not see the feminine.
Which is great.
Yeah. So I feel like try and assess yourself in a better way, because I think we might be affirming the thing that we're trying to kind of find balance in.
Right.
But no, I think most of us have got the right balance. It's just like this is what comes most naturally.
I guess so, yeah. My therapist also, I remember when I shared with her, I was just like, I would really try to be more feminine. And she's like, when you take a step back, really, first of all, what is the reason for that? Is it just because society has told you be more feminine? Has that helped women with being more feminine? What has it helped women with?
Yeah.
But what I realized is that it's only in the context of my relationship with my man that I feel I want that to be my personality.
And you are.
Yes, exactly.
There
and
you go.
So that's why I'm intentional about that. But outside, I'm just like, you guys are gonna get the murugi that you're getting.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah. For me, I like that feminine energy when in female dynamics as well. Like the way I interact with women, I would like it to be more on the feminine side, and also when you're in a relationship.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Wow, can we get into the intro of the video?
Yes.
What do you think?
Oh my God, what a tangent.
Have you ever done a video about masculine, feminine?
We always talk about this, and we always say we're going to do it, and we never do.
Yeah, Bri, remind us next time.
I know even that, guys. Please help us. Who do you think would be a wonderful guest to have a conversation on the masculine versus feminine?
Masculine, we're already two.
Huh? Do
the two of us?
We can talk
we
about
already
it. So somebody who we can talk about like femininity.
Yeah. Sharon K automatically comes to mind. I feel like she's very in her feminine. Yeah. Who else do I automatically think of?
There's someone, but she's problematic. Yeah.
Maybe Nancy. Nancy, do you want to be a guest on our podcast talking about being feminine?
Yeah. All I do is just wake up.
And
I just come to work.
Yeah. Maybe your PA.
Text.
Because she's the most feminine
woman.
Yeah,
Sharon.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Even the way she does her nails, her hair, the way she dresses, everything is
even
feminine.
The way she posts is very feminine.
Yeah.
You know, you're always shouting, screaming. Even the text, the font you use, even the way you just
it's
you have to put the block so that it can be like it stands out. Why? Relax. Now, if we have a femme here, how would we prevent from us swallowing her up?
I don't know. I don't know. We would have to like shut up. We'd have someone on set to tell us
with
to
a
shut
bell.
up. With
ding. Masks, shut up.
Ding, ding, ding. Shut up. Yeah, and I think maybe it's like a self-acceptance as you get older. I just love the way that I operate, and I see it does me more good than harm.
Exactly, definitely.
There we
out
go.
In the world. Thank
now,
you.
after 10 minutes, maybe perhaps we can actually start the episode.
Perhaps.
And how do we always start the episode? By reminding you that the only way to be a true in-betweener is to subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to us in all our podcast platforms. As long as you're here consistently, it doesn't take much for you to just press that plus, press that subscribe so that you can be a big part of the community. And it does help us, guys. We've been running this podcast for almost 4 years now, and nobody so far has had to sell a kidney. That's like by God's grace and by your support, because those stats, we take them to clients. We're like, you see how much people are subscribing.
They like us. I promise.
They like us. And we are able to get like more brand deals to enable us to run this incredible podcast. So start with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be really fantastic.
And today, what are we talking about?
Before we get into that, this is the first episode that we are shooting after we came back from Kigali. If you follow us on social media, TMI Podcast KE everywhere, you know we went to Kigali. And let me tell you, the love we felt, like it was, I've felt overwhelmed before here, even in Nairobi meeting people, but nowhere close to what the Rwanda babes showed us. Like, it was so overwhelming to the point where it feels like TMI is more popular there than even Lydia and Morugi.
For sure. I feel like it's a TMI thing there.
It was amazing. So shout out to everyone from Rwanda, everyone we met, the ones who we didn't meet. We felt so much love in Rwanda. Like
100%.
Just blown away by you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the love. We had intended to do something of a meet and greet, but trying to plan something when it's like a different country would take a lot more than we anticipated.
Yeah, exactly.
But we promise we're going to be back, and we want to do something in Kigali for sure. So thank you so much, our Rwandan
Rwanda's babes. Thank you. We love you so much. Now, on to today's topic. We are talking about signs of a dying relationship. Not dead.
Dying.
It's
on its last.
It's on its way out. It's basically like the horse is trudging along, but you can see that it's about to get onto its knees. It's coughing, and you just know that it's on the dying breath. It's on its dying breath.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a couple that I thought of because we've been in relationships. How many relationships have you been in? Long-term relationships, like proper, like this is my boyfriend.
A year for sure. That's what it is. I think 5 now. Hold on.
Oh, so past a year. Okay, fine.
Past a year. 4.
Right. Me, this is my 5th. Like my husband is my 5th, whatever. But these two, the two just before him were like kind of short. So they were like 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So then including that, it's like 6.
Okay, so like, okay, so we've been in our share of relationships, and by this we're referring to adult relationships, because relationships when you're below 18, it's already a dying relationship from the beginning.
Yeah, just
so that one just like exactly. Yeah. So here's the first thing that came to mind when I saw the topic of like signs of a dying relationship. The first sign is when you Google signs of a dying relationship.
When you Google, does he love me?
Does he? Oh my God!
Is my boyfriend pulling away? you know the things.
When when you are already just like, and most times it's a feeling, and it's a feeling which is like a distant one, where it's like sometimes nothing has happened, but you can just kind of like.
And it would be great if the people around you trusted you in that feeling, wouldn't it?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes you're dumb and you shouldn't listen to yourself. Sometimes
your feelings are wrong,
stupid, and they're invalid. Okay, sometimes it's that, but sometimes it's just like you can feel, Right now we have reached a level of consciousness in our 30s that I feel like you can't just trust the feeling alone.
Okay,
you have to think with your head. And I'm giving this advice to anyone in the room who feels the advice applies to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bree.
And
Bree's going through a lot.
Exactly,
Okay,
so if you have to Google, you have to be like, I don't know, but sometimes it's just teething issues,
right?
But all relationships deserve a chance to be seen and heard. Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you.
Like if you've been together for like, let's say a year, and then there's like a sudden shift.
Yeah.
If you've been together for about like or even a long term, and there's just like a sudden shift, and sometimes, by the way, nobody is hitting you. Nobody's cheating as far as you know. Nothing bad is happening, but you just feel it, just right here in the gut, like this, something ain't right.
And usually
Something ain't
sometimes
right.
it feels so bad, especially if it's like it's not an obvious thing. Like you see, you're just like there's nothing you've done. There's nothing.
Nothing has happened.
But
or
you
even
just
like,
feel like
you see him
yeah.
and you're fine. Everyone is fine. But it's not how it used to be, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that feeling.
Exactly. It's usually so sad. And then the period between when you first have that feeling to when the relationship ends. Usually it's dependent on you how long it lasts. But unfortunately for most women, they're like, I need to have a good enough reason to tell him that we have broken up. So women end up staying in those situations way longer than they have to.
Yeah.
And now it's been 2 years.
Oh my God, no.
Of feeling the ick.
I thought you were going to say like 3 months.
Yeah, 2 years.
Oh my God. My tolerance for discomfort is so low that I'm telling you guys have to you have to hold me down to not just jump out.
For most people, it's the other way around. They have a low tolerance for uncomfortable conversations, but a high tolerance for endured suffering. Yeah, I know.
I cannot. But guys, actually, I do want to confess something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right? So I know I've become the leader of the lovers must be leavers. I know. And I fully embrace that. However, I have realized that sometimes my leaving is to prevent me being in discomfort, and sometimes discomfort which needs to be part of this is what a relationship is part of, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like and from now on, the way I've decided is that I do not want to leave another relationship in the heat of this discomfort, because sometimes it's just
I'm happy about that.
Sometimes it's just let it settle. So that now the blood rushes back to our brain, and then we assess things from a factual POV, as opposed to it's I'm in a lot of discomfort, I'm super triggered, my nervous system is overly activated, and then boom, that's when you make the decision. So I'm starting to see things a little bit differently, and I have seen that a part of my constant leaving is somewhat a way of preventing myself from being abandoned, because I do have a fear of abandonment. Obviously, abandonment, not consciously. I'm an anxious attacher, so that's underlying. So it's if I leave, I've left. So nobody can abandon me. So anyway, if you want to be a lover, of course, it's fine to be a leaver, and I think that's a wonderful thing, especially in 25. But try and assess things in a different way. But where it's obvious, leave. Obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely when I had a session with my life coach, or the life coach who I had a session with, she said that's a sign of anxiety. That one of not being able to sit in uncomfortable situations or sit in discomfort, because you're just but literally I'm an adult. Why do I have to be here? I don't have to be here. I don't have to. Bye. Exactly. Then you don't have to deal with it. But then in your mind you convince yourself that no, you see, I just stood up for myself, and I didn't like it, so now I've left, because it feels see, I'm doing the mature thing, but actually are you? And so in that regards, in fact, I would ask, even before we talk about signs of a dying relationship, there's a difference between a dying relationship and a relationship that just requires some or
discomfort.
A sick relationship versus a dying relationship.
Yes, an unwell relationship.
That's the thing. Yeah. What's the difference between those two? The first one is that there has to be I would say a sick relationship, it would be something which it's you can point towards, and that there is a solution to that particular thing. So for example, if it's that the discomfort in your relationship is being caused by him constantly coming home late, it's something that you can actually take steps towards. It's this is something I can tell you, oh, by the way, I really don't like when you come home past, and they can be oh yeah, okay, fine, cool, sure, and it's something that they can change. However, if now you have been saying for a long period of time and nothing is happening, then it's it's going towards a dying relationship, because now
define
the symptom
long period.
I'll give you 3 to 4. Let me say I'll give you 3 opportunities to cross a boundary.
So 3 opportunities can be within a week?
No, what? Yeah, no. Okay, I mean, there needs to be a good enough explanation. If I've said, for me, I feel like it's a not necessarily a deal breaker, but I can say for me it makes me really uncomfortable. But I can see that that it makes me uncomfortable, but you're still acting in a way that it's just oh, whatever, disregard. Then that for me it's already now you make a decision. Now you're in a dying relationship. Okay. Before it was sick, now it's dying.
Yeah. All right. Okay, noted. You see, I'm taking notes.
I'm very happy that you're taking notes. Fantastic. Type it all out. Type it all out.
Typing it
Yeah.
all out.
And then another difference between sick and dying. Sometimes dying has absolutely no explanation. It's just kind of like
And
it's
that's
run its
really
course.
devastating
Yeah,
because,
it's tough.
especially as a woman who's obsessed with why,
Yeah.
that can be really tough. And
I
also,
know.
by the way, those of us who seek the why, I saw a creator on TikTok saying that when we are so obsessed with the why is he doing this? Why is this not? Why? It's actually an avoidance of what is. You're running away from just sitting and processing what is. He is not coming home at the right time. Let's sit with that. And it's okay to say, I don't like that he's not coming home. I don't like that he's treating me this way. I don't like that he's not giving me enough attention. Sit with that. Just, yeah.
And then? Because that doesn't seem like, so how do we get that? I'm already uncomfortable now.
Exactly.
I'm unhappy. Okay.
That allows you to put yourself in a position of, is this person who has a capacity to actually meet my needs? And also it puts you in a place of, what can I do about this? Is it that we need to have a conversation? But when you're saying why, maybe it's this, maybe because he's working, he's busy, maybe because Sijui something happened to his family, but you're kind of projecting what you think this person's behavior is, and you actually don't know.
But if you ask,
yes, exactly.
Right?
So now in that position, if you can ask, you're not going to need to be going on in your mind about why. It puts you in a solution place. I don't like that he's coming home late, and I'm going to ask him about it. And then you can decide there. But of course, that one means that you ask him about it and he's just like, this is life.
Yeah. Or why? Because I like going out with my friends.
Yeah, so?
Yeah.
And see, that's too much. So it's better if I just keep obsessing over why without, and telling myself it's other reasons without having to ask it.
But also, I feel like in my head, it makes it easier. Having a why makes it easier for me to like solutions. I feel like are easier to come by once you know the why, or at least I convince myself in my head that if I did know why, I would be a step closer to now being able to understand.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a dilemma that I was in my DMs recently. So she said that she's been married to this guy for a few years. One day they were having sex, and he said he has a fetish of like putting on her underwear. So she gave him her lacy thong.
Does he have a brother?
Oh, you familiar with it? Was it you who sent the DM? Maybe it's you who sent the DM.
Anonymity, confidence between us.
Yes, confidence, exactly. So and she said it was fun. He put it on. They did like some role playing of like he was being a stripper or something like that, and then Nivea Elisha. Since then, though, and I think it's been a few months, he now wears her underwear daily, to the point where he wears her lacy underwear. I have to say it's lacy, lacy bra and panty, like under his suits that he's going with to work. So she was like, obviously now she's feeling really uncomfortable, because it's just like, is my man, LGBTQ, or is this just like a thing? And she's like, when she asks him, he's just like, he just finds it hot and he just turns him on. And she's like, when he wears it to the office, he comes back and he's really turned on and they really have sex and whatever, but it's like she's just uncomfortable, because imagine seeing your man put on your bra and panty every morning under his work clothes, to the point where she's had to buy new sets of bras and panties.
To do that, though. He's gonna need to buy me
now she's bought for herself. So she was like, is this like a red flag? Is this problematic? Or is this just like a...
No, I don't think so. I would say that that's just like a fetish. It's a fetish that's making you uncomfortable, and that's valid. Because just because somebody's fetish is valid doesn't mean the discomfort of it. It's invalid. No, you're allowed to be uncomfortable. Right. But yeah, I think it's just a fetish. And this is like, by the way, it's not new. This happens.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a thing
but
with
like
it.
every day under his suit he's wearing.
And
like
then when he goes and comes back home, he's smashing you to bits.
Exactly.
So it's clearly a fetish.
Yeah.
You know, if it was like he wears that and like you can't see what it's doing for you as far as your sex life, you don't see that it's actually making him even more horny. You're not seeing why he's doing it, but you can see that when he does that, you are getting mounted. Yeah, I think it's just a fetish, to be honest.
Yeah, but now that it's a fetish that makes her uncomfortable, what do you do in that scenario? Because like, are you leaving your husband? Are you leaving your marriage?
No, I'm
because
not. Well, for
your
me,
man
this
likes wearing bra and panty.
This doesn't make me feel uncomfortable.
So picture your man. Just picture your man every day in the morning as we are getting dressed.
This is not so far away.
I know, girl. I know you've been places. But just now, I'm just trying to think. In the morning, we are getting dressed. And she said that when she asks him, like, why are you doing this? He's like, but you wear, like, my boxers all the time. You know, sometimes, like, boxer shorts are super comfortable for women. Like, when you're period, he's like, you wear my t-shirts all the time, or, like, my shirts or whatever. So why is it different that I'm wearing your bra and panty?
Because we have got that.
Or is it internalized
It is.
ideas of masculinity?
It is.
Can men wear lacy panties and thongs and bras?
It's kind of messing with the way that she perceives her man.
Yeah.
And if that is like a picture that she wants to see as like very traditionally masculine and like then seeing you being like with my lacy bra, that's gonna feel some kind of way.
So what's the advice to her then?
For me, I'll just be like, allow him to just kind of explore this fetish and maybe challenge some of your views on like on masculinity. Is he also stepping away from like what you expect him as a man? Is it now that things have switched up, that he comes home and he's just like, you know, just I'm a princess too. You know, what is changing in the dynamic of your relationship? If nothing is, then I feel like this is just a fetish that he wants to explore, and the fact that he feels safe enough to tell you, I think that's cool.
So your advice to her is make peace with it.
Make peace with it, or leave if that's too much.
Don't leave your marriage because of bra and panty.
Exactly. I don't think so. I don't think it's a leaving thing. You'd leave, or you just be like, let him.
You just
explore.
make peace.
Yeah.
Besh?
Yeah.
You're married.
Can't leave.
You're married. You just make peace,
You'd
right?
make peace.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just so tough. You know, like I could feel like I could, yeah, right? But that's because you're a whore.
Yeah.
And you've been around. You see, so
it's not. don't even say things like this. Me, I've not been around at all. But when it comes to like someone's sexuality, I think it's so hot when my person can be open with me about all their stuff.
But what if it's like, especially now, I wish some things like came out when people were dating, so that at that point you can now establish like, okay, this is something I can live with, this is something I can't.
And the reason why it doesn't come out is because of that. Exactly.
Right. So now you get married and your man likes fucking donkeys.
He's not allowed to do that. That's illegal. So let's stop there.
Right. So he likes
also
fucking
hurting
plants.
someone else.
Plants.
I mean, go for it, Jay. If you don't want me to, if I'm not allowed, if you're not asking me to participate and hold the plant, then do what you
So in that case, in fact, the reason why I even brought this whole thing up is like, in that case, she kept saying she just wants to understand why. She just wants to like get like what's the reason why he's doing this. Like,
but
why?
Fetishes don't have reason,
right? Because sometimes it's just like you see something like a Japanese
don't
man
point
with
at
dreads,
me, leave me,
and you and maybe that's just hot to you, you know.
Yeah, no, fetishes, like we can't always explain. Like if you've ever been looking through like sexual stuff and then you just bump into something and you're just
suddenly
like,
you're hot. Yeah, wait,
girls,
what?
Girls, and you don't know why. You can't really explain why.
Reason.
And see, this is the obsession with the why.
Yeah.
So put down the why. What's happening here? Your man likes to wear lacy bra and panties. That's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
That's what you're dealing with. So would you like to leave? Would you like to... It is a difficult one if that's not something that is like, it's even close to what you find attractive. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And like sacrifices will now have to be made because like once you get the ick from your man, you know how difficult it is to come back from an ick.
It's not.
And now you're married.
No. Yeah.
It's easy to come back from an ick.
Yeah, Logan Uri says get over it and be an adult. It's an ick, you live. Because I'm sure there's things that you do that he's just like, for God's sake, what a donkey I'm with. And what does he do? Like when you're there laughing, you fart, you scratch your boob. Yeah, and then he's just like...
I don't scratch my ass. My ass is never itchy.
Where's the little
my
girl?
Ass is never itchy.
Where's my little princess that I was courting 7 years ago? She's dead. Do you see her anyway? Yana Ghana.
I'll never forget a day Zach told me. I can't remember what I came into the bedroom and just said something in a really forceful way. He's like, calm down. We can't be two men in this relationship.
No! And you think that turns him on? You think that turns him on? Every time you're just like, oh, where's the towel? Where is it? You just woke up.
I guess we all have to make sacrifices.
There you go. There you go.
We all have to make
There you go.
You're right.
As you roar like a lion, he has to breathe and remember.
He thought he had married a sweet little kitten.
You see?
What a mistake that
was. What an accident. And you thought you had married someone who likes boxers, but this is what
Turns
they
out
like.
it's lacy panty.
Yeah, for sure. I don't
Actually,
see
in the
anyone.
grand scheme of things, that's a pretty mild thing. He could like crime, you know.
I actually think it's really on the mild side.
Yeah.
However,
but this
that
is your podcast also.
not even that. That thing, like when you decide who your man is,
Yeah.
and what they represent, when they mess with that,
Yeah,
it's
very
really,
problematic.
really difficult.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to kind
Also,
of change that.
Yeah, and also if you're like a really traditional person,
Yeah.
who it's just like, is this? In fact, the tone with which she asks is like, is this a normal? Is this normal? Like, or should I be worried? It's more of like,
No.
okay, tell me, is this
Yeah.
okay? You know.
And let me tell you, I'm not gonna go into whether or not what your man's sexuality is, because if it's this isolated,
Yeah.
I can't see a problem. But maybe if you see other things
You
that
could
now
tell
you
us,
feel
yeah.
like you're confused about. But especially if it's something like this, and if he was like part of the LGBTQIA, I think it's not something he would bring to you. I think he would do this in secret.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just a matter of time until he
Yeah,
brings it up. Who
guys,
knows?
tell us, have you ever been presented with maybe your husband or your boyfriend who has like a fetish that you
That
feel
you're uncomfortable with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any uncomfortable fetishes that you've ever experienced in your relationship, and how did you navigate? Because this woman is obviously, rightfully, by the way, concerned. Tell us.
Okay, exactly. Now, a sign of a dying relationship linked to something you said about like getting an ache. Someone said when all the things that you found cute at the beginning are so irritating now, like so irritating. You know, it's like at the beginning of your relationship, like he used to, I don't know, talk to you in a baby voice or whisper in your ear. Now when he does it, it's just kind of like, please stop, like, just leave me, you know, kind of thing.
No, I feel like that's a 6-month mark. You're no longer up on that pedestal. Yeah, I don't know if that's like signs of a dying relationship. Like once.
But
like,
should they irritate you? The things which you found cute, should they irritate you, or should
you know
be
how
like,
you thought he
oh,
was so funny? Now you're like, all you do is laugh. All you do is make jokes.
everything's a joke to you. Yeah, you're right.
See, like I feel like there's a time where it's like this person becomes a real person, and that's like a really difficult thing for us to navigate, because before you are a hero,
and everyone
what the fuck
was
is
kind
this
of
shit?
pretending,
Exactly.
sort of like being the best version of ourselves now.
Exactly. So then I feel like that could be that. It's not
Borderline.
necessarily that. Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
I would say that maybe that's ill.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, fine. Another sign of a dying relationship, less communication. So you guys used to have a call every morning, you'd have a call every evening, you'd have a call. Now it's kind of like every other day you have a call.
Yeah.
You used to see each other twice, thrice a week. Now it's more like once, even if.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I agree.
Yeah. And at that point it's like, except if like people are in a really busy season, in that case you have to understand and really be there for your partner. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But in this case, it's like it's different. You know what I mean? I guess so.
All right, let me say one of mine. When this another one of a sign of a dying relationship is when you present your needs and wants, it's like it's irking him. Like, why are you disturbing me? Yeah. Because now he doesn't like you. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So what you like and what you need is so low in his list of priorities. He's even annoyed that you present it.
And the reason why it's a sign of a dying relationship is because probably at the beginning of a relationship, every time you'd present your wants and needs, it's like, what? Of course I'll call you more.
Yes,
of course I'll call you more. Now it's just kind of like,
just
you're always nagging. You're always complaining.
I
like,
would say that's a big one.
Do you know
That's
other
a
women,
big
their
one.
men don't even call them all day, and you're just...
Yes. What are you lacking? Especially men who really do present themselves as providers, like really intensely. Now it's like, what are you lacking?
Right.
Because you asked to be called, that to him is like too much. And this is like maybe when someone has settled in the relationship, they've got you're there, that's it. And if their purpose was for you to be there as the wife, for him to gallivant everywhere, you're provided for. What are you missing?
Right.
Yeah. So that one's a big one.
And
you know that feeling because you're almost scared
Mm.
to present them because you know what the reaction is going to be.
Exactly. Oh, especially if you're with a narcissist, you just know they're going to make it about themselves, and it's just going to be like about like
gaslight the shit out of you. Like,
Ooh.
what are you talking about?
And you're gonna be like, actually, let me call you more.
You're
because,
right.
Like I'm
yeah,
not
but
doing
when
enough.
you leave, you know something is wrong. And do you know what? I heard recently that I'm too pretty for this is a good enough reason to leave. I'm telling you, I am too cute for this bullshit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wish women would stand on business with that, though, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't think you wish women could, because
Why not? Not you. When I say women, I mean other people. I don't mean you. I mean other people. Yeah. It's different. It's different, and you know it. Don't upset me. And today's a Tuesday. Don't upset me on a Tuesday, and you know I have a long week ahead. Okay? Thank you. Another side, let me say mine. When, and this is from personal experience, when you're cheating and you don't even care about getting caught.
Oh my God.
Like you're not even being careful anymore. It's just kind of like if he
cheating
figures out
to
yeah,
make sure you know.
Exactly. Now it's just kind of like you because you don't want to maybe have the conversation of like, yeah, so maybe we should end it because you feel like they will have a rebuttal and you don't have a good enough reason to break up with them. But now if you cheat and they find out, it's like, oh, okay, fine. Yeah, I get it. I did hurt you. I understand why you have to leave.
Yeah, and by the way, because men don't leave, what they want to do is like create an environment where you're so neglected and uncomfortable that it's like you induce the breakup. You're the one who's just like, I can't do this, so that he can hold on to his delusions of being a good guy, right? Because you know he's been doing what he's been doing. You know, it's like a bare minimum where it's just like you can't say that he isn't doing anything, right? And it's not terrible. Right. So then now when you leave, it's just like, I mean, I thought everything was great. I don't know where it came from. You know, guys, I tried. Yeah.
A guy who used to spend money on you, no longer spending money on you.
Oh, yeah. I think mine is consistent with that, like low effort. Now it used to be like up here. Now it's just like,
yeah.
You're alive.
And dying, if obviously I feel like at the beginning of a relationship, like the energy of getting you is obviously like now the top kabisa. So like there's a difference between the natural trajectory of how in relationships we get more settled and it's not like now I expect you to buy me gifts every week, but there is a minimum level of effort where it's just like you get home, you kiss me in the morning, we kiss at night, we fuck every so often, you know, like you I mean that would be really nice, things like that. But then now it's like they're just really doing absolutely nothing.
Oh my God, that's a big one, especially if you're living in the same environment.
Oh shit.
Yeah, when physical kind of affection is dying, that's definitely a sign of a dying relationship, especially when there's no reason. You know, there's many other reasons. Someone is stressed, someone has lost someone, relax. But now it's like everything is all good. There's no change in anyone as far as you can tell. But now suddenly there's like no affection. If there is, it's kind of like it's like forced.
Right, yeah. Someone said, which is I guess similar to that, energy shift. Like you don't know, but you can just tell the energy is just kind of different.
And you can't spot it. So that means when you're confronting him, it's just like, you seem different. Yeah. And it's easy to be like, different how? Yeah. I came in, I spoke to you.
Whatever,
Those conversations.
See, they're the worst. Actually, the best case scenario for me in relationships is when there's an energy shift. You can tell we're no longer connecting the way we were before. And we both feel it and we agree and we're able to split amicably. Yeah. That's like the best case scenario. Yep. Yeah. My last relationship before Zach, that's what happened. I mean, of course, I cheated a little bit, but it was like more like...
Of course.
Yeah, because I met Zach, you see. But then it wasn't like a lot of cheating, just a bit of an overlap. But then once I was like, oh, okay, I want to be serious with this guy. I was like, okay, I'm going to tell him. And the overlap was only like a month. But at that point, there had been some kind of energy shift on his side. Yeah. There was some on mine. So like when we went to have the conversation, it was like this feels okay. It feels natural. And it's like, there's no... but what have I done wrong? Because for me personally, as someone who doesn't necessarily love difficult conversations, my worst case scenario is me expressing and you asking me a question I can't answer. Yeah. Like now I'd be like, I think I'm in a different place. Yeah, which place are you? Yeah. I just feel like we are not connecting. It's like, okay, what can I do to connect with you? I don't want to be asked any questions back. Just take what I've said and
I don't mind
that. Yeah.
If like I've tried or like if it's like I've been seeing this for so long, I've got notes. And also this feeling inside is enough. It's enough. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about this that's making me feel so disconnected, but I no longer want to be here.
Oh my God, fuck. Be Lydia's boyfriend at your own risk. At your own risk. Yeah. Oof. I don't know where we internalize that whole concept of like you need to have a good enough reason for you to leave.
Oh my God. First of all, I realized that is actually that is the the lock
that
in
keeps
women's
women-
slavery. That is it. This concept that you have to be hurt in a justifiable way to be able to leave someone. So if somebody is just coming in just like a little bit late so that he doesn't have to deal with you, by the way, because he knows you're going to be asleep. It's a small little thing, but you feel like it's not good enough. This has been going on for a year. Then it's 2, then it's 3, and then you haven't been getting loved on, or any of your love language is just being respected for so long. It's enough. Oh my God. And this is a problem with women who are dating in their 30s.
Yeah.
Because that is a concept
Exactly.
I'm
is this
too
a
cute
big
for
enough
this is
thing?
enough.
Yeah. Actually, the movie It Ends With Us, I feel like has that
coming
kind of
on
like
Netflix
theme.
on Saturday.
Oh, are you upset about that?
Tragedy. What an awful film that was.
Oh, okay. I didn't find it awful. I just didn't feel like it was really an accurate representation of like the book.
Yeah.
But because I love the book, then the movie is like it's good
I
enough.
get it.
Yeah. But there's a theme about that of like the first time that she experiences like violence from him. It's almost like, is it actually like, is this like super bad, or is it like compared
can
to
see
all
that.
the amazingness of like this partner and all the things? Because you see, that's the backdrop. It's not like a thing which just happens isolated, this bad thing he's done.
Yeah.
It's like also there's this great thing that he is, what he bought you, how it is, how it feels when you're with him, all the connection and whatnot. So it's like, is this really like
But also,
was it
actually,
bad
the thing
enough?
with
Is
him
it?
was
Yeah.
more of, was that intentional?
That's
That
the
was the
thing.
question.
Yeah. And
because
even me, to be honest, as
Me
I was
too.
watching, I was like,
Me too.
Hey, but that one, yeah,
Exactly.
Actually, by
That
the
is
end
it.
of the movie, I was like, I would very much still be in that
I
relationship.
totally get
Yep.
it. You know,
Yep.
it's not like if it's a first slap,
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's enough. Like, you know, this has happened. However, that one where
it
it's
was
just like,
very, yeah,
like how, like what, you know,
yeah.
that one is, I
Yeah.
completely understood. Even me, I was just like,
yeah. Even in the movie, the way they did a really good job of like showing how that what that discrepancy looks like. You know, it's
Yeah.
just kind of like, yeah. So did he mean to do it, or did he just like? Because she did touch him
Yeah.
with the hot thing, and it's like, I mean, it makes sense that
that
would
he moved
yeah,
that way.
like who wouldn't?
But you know, now I've realized is that the scenarios where a man is physically hurting you are very low for a man who's non-violent.
Yeah.
By the way, men hardly ever come near close to hitting you.
Yeah.
It's like most dynamics is it's rare.
Yeah.
It's very,
For them
very
to
rare
even-
to actually
Yeah.
be in a situation where they've hit you.
Yeah.
In a
It's true,
really, really
yeah.
rare. But I see how she was so confused about that. And then he's
Exactly.
amazing in every other way, you
in
know?
all the ways. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it would have ended with me. Do you know what I mean? Because
Even at the very end. Hey, no, me, I've
At
actually,
the
to
very
be honest,
end,
I've
by the
got to
time-
say, and I'm
yeah.
not encouraging anyone, you
Yeah.
should leave the first time. Even if you feel like you have doubts, you are allowed to leave. But for me, I feel like it would be the second time.
right, I would say you're allowed to leave, but you're not forced to leave.
No,
this is the
no,
thing.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
me, I would exactly. The
I
second
think
time,
me-
because even the second time.
Yeah.
By the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, please just go and watch. By the time this thing is coming out, surely the movie will have
Oh, it will have
premiered
it. It's
on
coming this
Netflix. Go and
Saturday,
watch
yeah.
It Ends With Us. It has themes of domestic violence.
Yeah.
So if that's a trigger for you, just note that. But like, I think the second time was it the stairs one? No, the stairs
No,
one
that
was
was
the
the
third
last
one. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the second one? What I came to realize is that despite the fact that she was unsure of that, it had put a certain fear in her.
Right. Yeah.
That is why I would leave after the second time. Because when if you get hit, even though that you are not clear if you got hit, there's something that happens to your mind. And I remember when he was upset now about her seeing, what's the other guy's name?
Yeah. Atlas.
Yes, the way she came to him, the way she was begging him
Was kind
was
of
like,
like-
she was afraid.
Yeah.
That is why I would leave.
But is
That
that
is
afraid?
it.
Because you see, there's a healthy fear in relationships.
That wasn't
the healthy
afraid.
fear.
That,
yeah, okay.
Yes,
yeah.
and I know the difference.
Exactly,
Because you
of
know
like,
the one
I
of
care
just like,
about
oh
you
my
and I
God, I
don't
love
want you
this
to leave me.
person.
Exactly.
Versus, I'm afraid about what you're gonna do here.
Do to me. Yeah.
Exactly.
I am worried for my.
I feel
yeah,
like that's
true.
the thing that would
Yeah.
know. And because I've been in a dynamic where I was kind of afraid of my boyfriend, and I didn't know then what that was like. But now when I look back in hindsight, I know what that's like. Where it's just like, I'm afraid of like.
What will you say? How will you
In
react?
fact, my
Yeah.
next one that I was going to write, like signs of a dying relationship, is you're walking on eggshells, right? And there's no eggshells because somebody's going through a period of insecurity. So it's like you can't talk about certain topic. You're there, you're just being smart because you know what their triggers
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
But that feeling of like I don't want to upset you.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
yeah.
I'm almost trying, and not to say because you're going to hit me, but sometimes it's like I don't want to shake the waters. I don't want to move the waters, and everything that I do is going to have a negative consequences. Maybe he hasn't been calling you as much as you want. When you say this, we call less. It's like you're not, the space is not free for you to kind of talk and freely be yourself. That is definitely a sign of a dying relationship.
Exactly.
And most of the time,
sure,
he knows you're feeling scared.
That's
and
the
he
thing,
likes that.
Yeah. Me, the point at which I would have left is when you realize you're lying for him. Because the point at which she had
violence.
that she had to explain about, like, why do you have a black eye? And it's like, you're kind of like,
there you
have to lie about, because like if it was an innocent
accident
thing, it's just innocently, he was doing this and he happened to hit my eye,
a sign. That is actually
if you are having to lie for your partner, even in situations of financial anything, that you're having to give him money so that he can pay. Already, let's just.
But a lot of women are doing that, Joe. Don't shout too much.
I'm so sorry. Get this mic away
that's
from me
happening
then,
a lot.
That's difficult.
A lot. And I don't think it needs to be that. And I get it's like if you have a lot of the money, the idea is that you're not trying to emasculate. And I feel like it baffles me that we are responsible for like how you feel as yourself as a man. It's like I do get these like ways where I'm going to affect you because you're my partner, but this idea that it's me who's holding your masculinity like this, I think it's a little much.
Yeah, but sometimes it's even it's about how he is perceived, but sometimes it's also how you are perceived. You want to be perceived as I'm being taken care of. So it's like now also let me whatever sort of I'm like, oh wow, her man just takes care of her, he's always buying her things. They're the same ones who are going to buy themselves flowers and chocolate and be like, oh look what my man got for me, or go on a trip and be like, oh it was my man, but really it was you.
Because we don't want to deal with the truth that he didn't do it.
And he wouldn't and isn't going to. Damn, yeah. Anyway,
God.
So watch that movie, guys.
Let my people go.
Okay, fine. Another sign of a dying relationship is when you guys are arguing constantly about the pettiest things, and it's like it's almost like every tiny thing is an argument, every tiny thing is a problem. And I feel like there are seasons in relationships where that does happen sometimes, where it's just like we are having more conflict than usual, but like now the conflict is not even like real conflicts. It's like any tiny thing we are always constantly fighting. That's the most draining kind of relationship to be in, honestly.
Oh, for sure. Like that constant bickering, because really the truth is we're probably arguing about the fact that you're not meeting my needs, you're not the person who I want, like all of that. But now because we don't want to have that real conversation, we are now just arguing about like petty things.
Very, very, very true. Very true.
When you eat breakfast on the dining table, that's a sign of a dying relationship.
Please, no.
As opposed to where? I don't know.
Someone says apathy, when the urge to complain is dead. Like you're just there, even you don't even want to bother. Like, is there a point of trying to make the relationship better? You're just kind of like,
I agree. And being that I'm a really emotional person, that's definitely the last step. Like now, I just don't care. You come if you want, you go if you want, you call if you want.
Like whatever, and if you don't, then But question is that, because sometimes when somebody messages me and they tell me they're in that kind of situation, I'm like, why aren't you just leaving?
And they say?
It's like, Because, I feel like even in a bad or a dying relationship, for you to be in it, there must be something that you're getting from it, even if it's just a basic like, I get to be cuddled in the morning, or even if it's the basic of sex, or having someone to go with to events or something like that. At the heart of people staying in relationships, there's something that they think they are getting from that relationship that makes them stay.
Or not necessarily even what they're getting is like their hope, their projected hope onto the future. Like, no, this could be X. No, if we get through this period, it could be.
Yeah. Exactly.
That one keeps people.
Damn. A sign of a dying relationship: little to no intimacy. Some people are fucking really a lot and like all the way to the very end.
By the way, someone did there's this like relationship experts. There's an episode I listened to on Diary of a CEO. Literally, I'm always on that podcast, and he was saying actually that like from research that's done, not having sex is not actually consistent to like a relationship being bad or anything. There's plenty of people who's like sex is not like the central thing in their relationship, and they carry on perfectly. But now if it is the central part,
then that's
now
problematic.
stops.
Exactly. But sometimes I think it was you who said in that episode that sometimes you can be in a dying relationship, but you're still having so much sex because that's the only time that people are able to connect. You can't connect in any other way. That's the only time you actually feel
warmth.
or even seen, or even like
it's
just
the only time you know where he
Wow.
Because you ain't seen
him
dust
in days,
in a
exactly.
minute. So he's here.
Now that
And
much
when
you
we're having
know.
sex, you know for a fact
Exactly.
that he's with you.
And that's problematic. Actually, yeah. So that one might, depending on what kind of relationship you have.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are having sex all the time, then now you aren't at all. That's definitely a sign of a dying relationship or a sick relationship that needs to be revived. Yeah. Someone says a sign of a dying relationship, when they touch you, you want to vomit. The word vomit in that context really just so just wow.
I can be that way if like my emotional needs are not being met. Yeah, I could literally.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Me didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Cheap asshole.
Thank you. And I appreciate that so much.
Oh, this is another sign of a dying relationship. Things that were not an issue are now an issue.
Yeah.
I actually heard this from Mary J. Blige when she was talking about her husband, who by the way was cheating on her with like.
Who was her husband?
It's not someone who was famous.
Right.
I think he actually even worked with her. I think. So I don't know. I can't remember all the facts. And he was cheating on her for years with like someone. I think they all worked together. Where there was just like some really nasty situation. And she said she doesn't cook. Right. That's not her thing or whatever. And of course they have money for chef or whatever.
Yeah.
But suddenly the fact that she doesn't cook became an issue. So like things that were not a problem about you are now a problem, because the issue is not the fact that you can't cook, and it's that you are alive.
Yeah.
You're here. That's what the beef
not
is.
Cooking.
Yeah. That I would say that's one.
Yeah, definitely. Has that ever happened to me in previous relationships? I don't think so. Not that I remember. But yeah, this other one is similar to that one. He or she always seeing fault in you.
Yeah. You just breathe like this, it's an issue. Breathe like that is an issue.
Yeah. When you start hiding things from your partner, information, money, recent purchases.
According to Just Ivy's stories, women have been hiding money in very happy relationships. Yeah. So I don't know about that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But now it's like when you start. So it's like if before you are open and then now suddenly you're not open about anything, then that's problematic.
It is.
Yeah. Another one which I written for myself is like when you start planning activities that you know they won't want to come to.
So that they don't.
So they don't. So you can go out by yourself. Like, I know you hate physical activities. So me, I'm going hiking. Every weekend I've gone biking. I've gone to the gym or whatever. Those are the only things I'm doing because I know you're not going to come.
Yeah.
That is so sad.
It is.
Yeah. Someone somewhere is saying, oh my God, that's my relationship. That's my relationship.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You survive it. This too shall pass.
Oh God. Someone says, when he says, I need a break, what break and I love you? Yeah, I feel like when someone says they need a break, I don't know. How do you feel about breaks?
I don't believe in them.
Ooh.
You want time away from me?
Yeah.
You know, like space. There's like whatever you're experiencing something, and even space sometimes is more like, I've got to breathe through that. But a break, you want me to pause this relationship, you go have your time to break, and you leave me here.
Yeah.
Bro, let me release you of your responsibility of being my boyfriend. Now. No pressure.
Really long break.
No pressure.
I feel like breaks can be good in the context of like a really long-term relationship, and if it's warranted for a particular reason. Like, for example, maybe we've gone through something really, really traumatic. And
that needs to happen. Like, that's like, you need to go over there before I kill all of us and these kids in this house.
Otherwise, we might not survive.
Yeah, I think a lot of marriages go through that.
Exactly.
Or like pausing, or you go back to your mom's, or he moves out for a while, that kind of thing. But just like, I just want a break.
Yeah.
I've never had a break in any relationship.
We've been fighting so much. We just need a break. Let's just take a proper permanent break then.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either we're in a relationship or we are not.
Yeah. Okay, when conversations start being difficult, you can't find things to talk about.
I feel like there are phases sometimes in relationship where there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, oh, okay, like, oh, hi. There's not much, it's like, I don't know if it's comfort or it's like energy or what happens, but I think I've gone through phases where it's just like, you're just sitting on the sofa. Yeah. Everyone is fine. No one is bothering anyone. They're just like, just talking on the phone. Yeah, how was your day? Like, you say something simple. It's just there. Yeah. But
so
then
shallow conversations would not be a sign of a dying relationship.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Just kind of somewhere in between.
It's just like, yeah. But now if it persists, I think that would be a problem.
Yeah. When both families start getting constantly involved in solving issues. I never involve my family in solving issues. Like until like now we are coming to sit in front of aunties and uncles.
I feel like that is ending with my mom's generation for me.
Right, yeah.
Because what has it ever changed?
That's the question.
It's never changed.
And are those people in relationships we are trying to emulate?
No.
That's the question. That's the question. Someone says that he sense of a dying relationship, he says he wants to have 2 girlfriends.
Oh, baby. We do not frown upon those who prefer different lifestyles as far as relationships, but no.
Right. Okay, fine. Last one. Second last one. Someone says for them when they start noticing how handsome or how pretty other people are. You said that.
No, so for me, when I'm in a relationship for a long time, there's a place where I don't even see men. I don't see other men.
Yeah.
And then if I suddenly start to see like, oh my God, he's so cute. In fact, I remember I had gone to B&D, right? This was before the end of my last relationship. I had gone to B&D and I don't know who we were with. We were out or whatever. And again, for me, all men are dead. I don't even believe other men exist. And for whatever reason, I spotted this gorgeous, this handsome man. Like, handsome. And I was like, as soon as I noticed that, I was like, oh, damn.
Wow, I think it's over.
I think it's over. Like,
but that's only if you have personality.
Yeah.
I could see hot men everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
There's a place that a man gets me. Yeah. Like, this is not like necessarily as soon as I get into a relationship, that's what's happening. But there's a way a man gets me. If I'm really happy with you, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
I don't see them.
Nobody.
I hardly see men anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I hardly see them anyway. So now this time is like triple. When I start now, or even if I find myself being attracted to somebody else,
problematic.
Yes, no, I didn't act on it, obviously, but I just noticed that, because things were thick.
Things were
by then
problematic. And how long between then and when you actually?
I think it was like a week.
Oh,
yeah, it was. That's usually when I tell you it's like the last straw. Yeah,
she ain't gonna sit in that discomfort. The last one that somebody said is when they keep forgetting to consider them when they are doing things. It's like you keep forgetting you're even in a relationship, and you know that happens. Like now, once because women, you already said checking out before, so now you're doing stuff you don't even remember that this person. Oh yeah, by the way, it's almost Christmas. You're not even thought about this person. What are they going to be doing? Where are they going to be? Are we going to meet up? They're not even considering them at all.
Oh God, actually,
yeah,
that one takes the cake.
I think so.
I think that one takes the crown.
Yeah,
it does. This was a really sobering conversation to have after, the hype of Valentine's.
I know.
But the truth be the truth. The longer you're with somebody who isn't the right one, the less time you're going to spend with the one who is the right one. So I know it's difficult to leave like a marriage or like a relationship you've been in for so long. But the sunken cost fallacy is bullshit. Yeah. Don't waste more time because you've wasted more time.
Right.
Just make the decision. If you've tried...
So what to do when you discover that you're in a dying relationship because you've watched this episode and you've discovered you're actually in a dying relationship?
First thing, I would say it's a conversation. I feel like, first of all, you might think you're in a dying relationship. The other person is just like, what are you talking about?
So first thing is for you to decide. For you, is this it? Or like, are you still
actually, do you want to be in the relationship?
Exactly. You decide first before going to the conversation. Actually, I've realized many times when you go into a conversation and you're open to different outcomes or whatever, you're not set on what it is you're trying to achieve in the conversation, often it will end up being whatever the other person decides they want. Come from a place of decision. Otherwise, you just be like, so what are we doing? What do you think we should do?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I don't like those kind of
but if you decide that you want to be in the relationship, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
And also, it's like I have been feeling either like we are not connected or whatever. Go with that and then see what the response is. And see where this is going. Because if he's dismissing with that conversation, you don't need to go any further. You know it's done. But I would say definitely have the conversation first. If you're gaslit and like they're not giving you opportunity to express yourself or like even validating some of the why, because sometimes somebody isn't coming from your POV, but they can see why you're feeling that way. That validation is really, really important.
More times than not with men.
Yeah, they do.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Those are the men we need to stick with. We need to stick beside.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like two things. Like, I did not mean to offend you, but I can see why you are offended.
Exactly,
that's what I mean.
Those two things can definitely exist.
They can exist, yeah.
And also a reminder is you as an adult, no one needs to give you permission. No one needs to tell you this is a good enough reason for you to leave. Even just saying that I just don't feel like I want to be in a relationship with you right now anymore. What's the reason? I just don't.
Yeah, but as she says that, she's
I
not like
would
that.
never
She was
do such a thing.
she would never. So, but it matters that you feel like you left that relationship being sure,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be sure because you're waiting for him to like cheat on you or hate you or whatever. It can be enough time of feeling neglected. Especially for me, neglect is a big one.
Yeah,
Ooh.
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. And let's just trust our feelings. Sometimes you don't need to have any more confirmation. I feel like a month of feeling a certain way, it's time.
Yeah.
I would say it's time.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you
This
guys
was
so much.
nice and uplifting.
Very
encouraging
uplifting.
podcast.
For me, what has been uplifting about it is that I'm not in a dying relationship.
I know.
Yeah, I'm really in love, and like everything in my marriage is going super great, and it's just like things are really good.
Yeah.
And so it's so great to be feeling that way, you know?
Yeah.
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 Those are many years.
Why? See, I'm supporting you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fantastic. And I'm sure, let's give us your feedback down below, guys. Are you in a dying relationship? Are you in a sick relationship? Because sick is almost like dying, but you can see how it can be revived. Exactly. Or are you just in a thriving relationship? Yeah. We would love to know. Thank you so much. Tell us down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.